Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing? This is your host, Kay, from Lunarlight Games, and thanks for dropping back in. Hello and welcome to our channel if you're new. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Help us keep growing our channel. So this is a bit of a later stream than usual. If you're currently watching this on YouTube, just know that it's currently like 10 p.m. whenever you're watching this. Normally I try to do our streams earlier, but you know, sometimes you get caught up in certain things and just don't have the time. But let me go ahead and get set up and then we'll get going. Alright. Last time we were on this, I think we were just getting ready to tackle in Hushed Whispers. We're not quite there yet. Alright. I think last time we sent Josephine off on a quest. I have secured promises from several noble families. They have agreed to provide personal guards and other resources to the cause. We have played our part in closing the rifts. The nobles will now see to the safety of those living on their lands. Thank you for that, Josephine. Okay, now to the important bit. Our inventory is looking a lot better. Now we have to head back to the Forbidden Oasis. We still have a few more things left to do. Let's take our party members and head out. I think this will be one of our shorter streams. We're just going to complete more of the Forbidden Oasis, and then we'll tackle in Hushed Whispers and then call it a night. Alright, back to the tomb, or the temple. Man, this tunnel system has many, many routes to follow. Oh crap. Well, didn't realize there would be a hidden spider here. That ought to teach you. Are there more enemies around here? I hope not. Well, anywho. I forgot. We got a couple skill points to use up. Varric. Do we want to make Varric even more elusive? Oh, this one's pretty cool. Knockout powder is extremely useful. Varric will eventually get better abilities once we get his specialization. So don't think that all the skills that we're using right now are the ones that he'll keep forever. Same thing goes for Blackwall. Now, where on earth is... No, we don't want this one. Not Charging Bull, deck. Hmm. There's gonna come a point where Blackwall's not really gonna need any more defensive abilities. We're just gonna bide our time for now. Hmm. What do we want here? We don't necessarily need this. This is for two-handed weapons. Battlemaster. The main reward from this tree is this one right here, Horn of Valor. Do we want to take the time to specialize in this tree? Remains to be seen. You know what, for now, I think we're going to ignore it. Instead, let me go ahead and take more of these over here. Passives can be fairly strong if you know how to utilize them. And then this one over here. Alrighty. With that all completed, let's head further into the temple. Why is this not opening? Weird. I don't know why this is locked. It shouldn't be. Hey, what's up, Trelana? How's it going? The heck? Why is this locked? Unless we need more shards now that we've spent most of them. Oh, dang it. You know what? Let me make a save here, and I'm going to try to figure out what's going on. This shouldn't exactly be locked. Okay, what the heck? What's going on with that doorway? That's cool. What are you playing? We're just gonna run. Forget about this. We'll come back to it eventually. Solid choice. I have not touched Skyrim in years. Yeah, this doorway is still locked. Incredibly weird. I'm not certain why this should be locked. Well then, I guess we're stuck out here for a while. Unless I can figure out another way. Okay, so we were here before. Let me do the exact same thing as we did last time. And then we'll figure out what's happening.
Feel a bit strange.
The magic was drawn to you, possibly because of your mark. The effects were purely benign.
It wasn't a trap. What was it?
It may be a reward for those who prove themselves worthy.
But yeah, that door was not supposed to be closed again. Unless something strange is happening. We're just going to go ahead and repeat everything that we did last night. Minus going back to camp. And I'm going to see if there's any changes. Ah, crap. Did not mean to do that. I'm hoping it's not like a major bug. Because if it is, we're not going to be able to get back here again. We're just going to retrace our steps. Make sure nothing funky is going on. And if I'm satisfied, then we'll continue on. Alright, get ready for a fight. Oh, I think I might know what happened. I think we've run into a case where you have to pick and choose which side you want to go down. I'll have to double check my guide though. Because if so, we might have stumbled onto a case where maybe we shouldn't have gone down this route. Well, down you go. Yes, who knew Darkspawn would be down here? Alright, that takes care of you guys. Please tell me there's enough room in my inventory. I mean, for the most part, we have enough room. I hope that's going to be the case. give me all of that. Well, dang. We are out of room. Well, we don't need the longbow. And over here, there's a dead mole. I think that's a two-hander, of which no one here can use. Alright, swords will go to Blackwall. You can take this one. This one can be destroyed. Gonna hold on to that one. Now let me double check by going back out. We opened this already, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Now to have a look at the other rooms and see if they're completely locked up or not. Again, another bow that we don't need. Now, the beauty of having... Oh, what the heck? Oh, there it is. That's how we can get to this. The meaning behind the flowing ancient script is obscure at first, but slowly forms. May the path bestow the favor thou hast earned. For a moment there is an image of figures kneeling in meditation. A bright light envelops them, then it fades. That's how you get to that. There's this one.
We need more shards.
Yeah, we need more shards. The trouble is, though, I don't know if we can get back later if we fast travel out of here. Oh wait, never mind. We can. I just went the wrong way. Alright, never mind. I have a fairly good idea at what we're missing and what I did wrong. Alright. Well, in that case, let me go ahead and load the save, the one that we had earlier. I'm just going to make sure we clean up down here, and then we're going to head off and do that new quest. If we want to explore more down here, we need to continue collecting shards throughout the game. That exploration won't happen for some time. Not until after we get the first set of missions done. Oh hey, more enemies down here. I guess they're all back. That's fine by me. More XP. More XP and more loot. By the way, this big guy over here is a dark spawn. In case you don't understand or know what Darkspawn are, they are the main enemies of Dragon Age Origins. So yeah, they've been around for a long time. Get out of the way. Sweet. That's a lot of XP. Let's grab our rewards and get the hell out of here. Yeah, nothing left is down here. What's going on, Mr. Critical? Thanks for dropping back in for the second time today. I appreciate you for making the time to say what's going on. Yeah, that sequel's gonna be out sometime this fall. I have no reason to doubt that it won't be out. What's going on, Storm? Thanks for dropping in. Alright, we got some trash to eliminate. Let's get rid of that thing. No new weapons down here. Alright. Armor. Perhaps maybe Varric can wear some of these. Yeah, Varric can wear this one especially. This one is trash. And I think that's it. I feel you there. My backlog's already pretty crazy. And it's going to be one of the main reasons why I'm going to sit out this fall.
Come to me, child, and I shall embrace you.
Thank you for all that you are doing to us.
Cedric should have that for you soon.
Yeah, it's nice to have something sitting in the wings for in case if you get bored or you want to try something new. I always used to time out my shopping splurges down by either 2 weeks before Black Friday or 2 weeks after Black Friday. That used to be the case. Back when I could get like games for cheap on various websites. Nowadays it seems kind of hard to do that. I applaud you if you're able to keep up with it. I think I've given up keeping up with all the new games since about, I want to say, oh, what year was it? It was either 2019 or 2020. I had meant to play the new Call of Duty and then other things got in the way, especially with work. Alright, we're going to begin the next story beat. Now, before we do that,
My heart.
you're going to want to make a save, just in case, you know, you or I screw something up. And also make sure you have enough room in your inventory. Where we're going, there's not going to be a trip back here for quite some time. So let me go ahead and pull up my guide here, just to be sure. And yes, I usually play with a guide with this game. It's hard not to because there are so many portions of the game that you can miss stuff. Yeah, I hope that game's good too. I remember seeing it for the first time and thinking, wow, this looks great. But that was back before the PS5 was. Actually, no, that would have been around 2020 or 2021. So by that point, I think Dragon Age, or not Dragon Age, the PS5 had already been out. So by the time I saw that teaser trailer, I mean, it seemed kind of new, but then at this point, it seems fairly old. So who knows? I hope it's good by its release date. All right, let's see. Where is this? All right, in Hushed Whispers. Make sure you have everyone you want. Is it really? That's the first time I've ever heard of anything about Rush Hour. Anyway, yeah, just do all the prep work you want beforehand. Make sure you have an extra weapon or something, because I think we're going to end up using Dorian. But I think it's going to be fine. We are way too high level up. Oh, never mind. I think I know what you're saying. They're definitely going to try to rush that Wukong game out, or rush development as the date comes closer. Alright. Make sure you clean up your inventory, set up your characters the way you want them to be, and possibly make room for Dorian. Also make up a backup save, because if you don't make that backup save, you might be screwed over when you start this thing and then you can't pass the mission. If you get soft locked here, you have to restart the game. Sad to say, but it is what it is. I think I read this once, but Redcliffe Castle and the mages who could close the breach are under the control of Magister Garion Alexius, a Venatori cultist with an unhealthy interest in Lavellan and the power to reorder time itself. He has kindly invited Lavellan to the castle alone to negotiate. It's an obvious trap, but Leliana and her agents can infiltrate the castle and remove the Venatori threat while Alexius's attention is diverted. A dangerous game, but it's our best chance. We're completely overleveled for this. On the flip side, if you don't feel like taking that mission, you can choose this path. You can side with the Templars. Leliana and Josephine have been working tirelessly to convince, coerce, and win over some of Orlay's most influential houses. 10 noble families will help the Inquisition pressure the Templars into sealing the breach, traveling to Therenfell Redoubt and demanding the Lord Seeker deal with them or face the wrath of Orlais. The Inquisition has promised the Herald of Andraste as its voice in these negotiations. Honestly, I don't really like the mission structure of Champions of the Just. I think I tried it just once, and the outcome wasn't what I was expecting. Whereas if you take In Hushed Whispers, the storyline is fantastic, as you'll soon see. So let's go with this one. We are ready. After nearly 30 hours of gameplay, we are ready. Again, Dorian is someone that you can't refuse. We need our tank, that's for sure. This kind of stinks because I like seeing Varric and Solus's commentary. But you know what? Just for the sake of having fun, and if we need to, we'll tone down the difficulty. We're going to bring Varric and Solus along. I want to see both of these two characters, since they're the most important characters in our party anyway.
Announce us.
The Magister's invitation was for Mistress Llewellyn and no one else. You lot wait here.
If my friends can't enter, then I won't go in either.
My Lord Magister, the agents of the Inquisition have arrived.
My friend, it's so good to see you again. And your associates, of course. I'm sure we can work out some arrangement that is equitable to all parties.
Are we mages to have no voice in deciding our fate?
Fiona, you would not have turned your followers over to my care if you did not trust me with their lives.
If the Grand Enchanter wants to be a part of these talks, then I welcome her as a guest of the Inquisition.
Thank you.
The Inquisition needs mages to close the breach, and I have them. So, what shall you offer in exchange?
We have multiple choices. But how shall we proceed?
The Inquisition has many backers among the Orlesian nobility. I'm sure we can find suitable compensation.
I'm not sure what the Orlesian nobility have to offer that I don't already possess.
She knows everything, Father.
Felix, what have you done?
Your son is concerned that you're involved in something terrible.
So speaks the thief. Do you think you can turn my son against me? You walk into my stronghold with your stolen mark, a gift you don't even understand, and think you're in control. You're nothing but a mistake.
If you know so much, enlighten me. Tell me what this mark on my hand is for.
It belongs to your betters. You wouldn't even begin to understand its purpose.
Father, listen to yourself. Do you know what you sound like?
He sounds exactly like the sort of villainous cliché everyone expects us to be.
Dorian, I gave you a chance to be a part of this. You turned me down. The Elder One has power you would not believe. He will raise the Imperium from its own ashes.
That's who you serve. The one who killed the Divine. Is he a mage?
Soon, he will become a god. He will make the world bow to mages once more. We will rule from the Boric Ocean to the frozen seas.
You can't involve my people in this.
Alexius, this is exactly what you and I talked about never wanting to happen. Why would you support this?
Stop it, Father. Give up the Venatori. Let the Southern Mages fight the breach, and let's go home.
No. It's the only way, Felix. He can save you.
Save me?
There is a way. The Elder One promised, if I undo the mistake at the temple.
I'm going to die. You need to accept that.
Seize them, Venatori. The Elder One demands this woman's life.
Your men are dead, Alexius.
You are a mistake. You should never have existed.
Blood of the Elder One. Where'd they come from?
Oh, hang on. Before we start the battle... Ah, crap. I was hoping I could avoid this fight first. Never mind. We're strong enough that this doesn't matter too much.
It's probably not what Alexius intended. The rift must have moved us to what? The closest confluence of arcane energy?
The last thing I remember, we were in the castle hall.
Let's see. If we're still in the castle, it isn't. Oh, of course, it's not simply where, it's when. Alexius used the amulet as a focus. It moved us through time.
Did we go forward in time or back? And how far?
Those are excellent questions. We'll have to find out, won't we? Let's look around, see where the rift took us. Then we can figure out how to get back. If we can.
What was Alexius trying to do?
I believe his original plan was to remove you from time completely. If that happened, you would never have been at the Temple of Sacred Ashes or mangled his Elder One's plan. I think your surprise in the castle hall made him reckless. He tossed us into the rift before he was ready. I countered it. The magic went wild, and here we are. Make sense?
Wait a minute, wasn't this the whole plot point of Skyrim?
It just seems so insane.
I don't even want to think about what this will do to the fabric of the world. We didn't travel through time so much as punch a hole through it and toss it into the privy. But don't worry. I'm here. I'll protect you.
There were others in the hall. Could they have been drawn through the rift?
I doubt it was large enough to bring the whole room through. Alexius wouldn't risk catching himself or Felix in it. They're probably still where and when we left them. In some sense, anyway.
Alexius mentioned an Elder One in the hall. Do you know who he was talking about?
Leader of the Venatori, I suspect. Some magister aspiring to godhood. It's the same old tune. Let's play with magic we don't understand. It will make us incredibly powerful. Evidently, it doesn't matter if you rip apart the fabric of time in the process.
What happens if we can't get back?
Then we get comfortable in our new present.
The new present looks terrible. Oh, by the way, Mr. Critical, regarding that plot point about getting a girl pregnant, that was in the original Dragon Age Origins. I don't want to give any spoilers because that key point will come back up later on in our playthrough. Alright, so open up the way over here. And we have to keep going. Just keep pinging the room. Make sure there's nothing that you're missing out. Of course, there are always going to be items, but that's why we ping everything. Granted, this is a 4-story segment, and whenever there are story segments, there isn't anything that you have to worry about. The drops are pretty much guaranteed. Okay. There is a doorway on the opposite side. Also, what's up with these glowing rocks?
Alexius has made a dreadful mess of this place, hasn't he?
I didn't see this part of the castle.
It was covered in the tackiest carvings of wolves and dogs I'd ever seen. This is not an improvement.
Well, we can't go through this way, but we did get some items. Oh, how far did you get through the game? But yeah, as you can see, the story took a very interesting twist. Whereas if you decide to go with the Templars, you don't really get to see this twist. I think the story in the other path is a lot more straightforward. What?
Blessed me, Andraste blessed me. My tears are my sins, my sins, my sins. Andraste guide me, Andraste guide me.
What did they do to you?
Andraste blessed me, Andraste blessed me.
This guy is clearly insane. Anyway, moving on. Any items you pick up here can be kept. Try your best to explore. I don't think there are any missables here that you want to keep anyway. It's still early days. Take care of that guy and take care of this guy. That reminds me. I never got around to upgrading Dorian over here. Oh, I think I know where you're at. It's barely past this point in the game. Alright, we're gonna pick a barrier. And then, let's see, barrier, grab Peaceful Aura, and Guardian Spirit. These are the main go-to, especially when it comes to survivability. I think energetic defense is a lot better than elegant defense. Though not by much. I think the cooldown is also helpful as well. Since we're using Dorian as a backup, we're gonna take elegant defense. And then, of course, take energy barrage, as well as energy bombardment. Then grab conductive current and static charge. Static cage is entirely up to you. Immolate, however, is very good. It's cheap, it's effective, use it. And then if you want to make it even better, use Wildfire. Then I think we're going to take Winter's Grasp. And, if you want to synergize with your other characters, especially with people who use Winter's Grasp, take Winter's Ruin. And then, I'm more concerned about enemies trying to attack Dorian, so I'm going to take Mana Surge. That should be good. Which class takes the most damage? I think the Rogue ends up taking the most damage because you have to play up close and personal. Though there are ways of mitigating damage with the Rogue. You also get the stealth feature as well. Mages, surprisingly, don't take a lot of damage if you know how to build your way around them. Same thing goes for the Warrior. Archers, however, are very good if you're able to use them correctly. Two-handed Warriors are very weak, though. I wouldn't recommend using that class unless you really want to play something different. Alright, we got 2 pathways to take. Which one should we go down? Oh, we need to find a way across. Let's go down over here first. Now, just because you see the quest marker doesn't mean you have to ignore the other rooms. In my first playthrough of this game on the hardest difficulty, I became a Knight Enchanter. That class is extremely good. You don't even need to use cheats or anything like that. I know for certain I didn't. And you can build your way into a position where you take basically no damage whatsoever. Alright, we're down here. Well, this doesn't look like the way. I mean, we got all the treasure, didn't we? Yeah, I think we did. Oh, hey, who's this?
You're alive. I saw you disappear into the rift.
What is the date? I need to know how much time has passed.
Harvest Mia. 942 Dragon.
942? Then we've missed an entire year.
So somehow we got thrown a year into the future.
We have to get out of here. Go back in time.
Please, stop this from happening. Alexius serves the Elder One, more powerful than the Maker. No one challenges him and lives.
I promise. I will do everything in my power to set things right.
Our only hope is to find the amulet that Alexius used to send us here. If it still exists, I can use it to reopen the rift at the exact spot we left. Maybe.
Good.
I said, maybe. It might also turn us into paste.
You must try. Your spy master, Leliana. She is here. Find her. Quickly. Before the Elder One learns you're here.
Well, a year into the future, the world looks starkly different than what we remember. Everything has gone to crap.
If red lyrium is an infection, Maker, why is it coming out of the walls?
Are you sure you want to find out?
Well, only one way to know. Again, don't worry about the quest marker. Who's over here?
Andraste Sacred Knickers, you're alive. Where were you? How did you escape?
We didn't escape. Alexius sent us into the future.
Everything that happens to you is weird.
Oh, might I also add that lyrium doesn't really affect dwarves? That's why he's okay.
You don't look so good, Varric. What happened?
Bite your tongue. I look damn good for a dead man.
You're no more dead than we are.
The not dying version of this red lyrium stuff? Way worse. Just saying.
We get to Alexius, and I just might be able to send us back to our own time. Simple, really.
That may not be as easy as you think. Alexius is just a servant. His Elder One assassinated the Empress and led a demon army in a huge invasion of the South. The Elder One rules everything. What's left of it, anyway. Alexius is really not the one you need to worry about.
I promise you, Varric. We'll make sure none of this happens.
I'm pretty sure you're crazy. Or I'm crazy. Either way, it's a nice thought. You want to take on Alexius? I'm in. Let's go.
A year without the Inquisitor and everything has gone to crap. By the way, where's our other mage? I wonder, is he in the other side of the dungeon? Let me have a look real quick. I think Ohio will be fine in the future. Maybe. Yeah, that's strange. What happened to our other character? Where the heck did he go? If that's Fiona, where the heck did he go? I don't see Solus. Those are all the same. Oh, no worries. We started the In Hushed Whispers quest. And the reason why we're here is because we got flung into the future by about a year. Oh well, I guess we'll move on to the next story beat.
Is someone there?
Oh, there he is.
You're alive. We saw you die.
The spell Alexius cast displaced us in time. We just got here, so to speak.
Can you reverse the process? You could return and obviate the events of the last year. It may not be too late.
You look bad. Is there anything I can do to help?
I am dying, but no matter. If you can undo this, they can all be saved. This world is an abomination. It must never come to pass. We'll have to go up. I've heard the guards saying that Alexius barricaded himself in the throne room.
Well, you heard him. We have to find Leliana. But hey, the gang's all here. The gang's all here. But where is Leliana? Grab that other sigil and then... No. I guess we can't proceed further over here. Oh, I didn't bring him. He's not here because I decided to take the other two. I think their dialogue is much more interesting. Plus, we're over leveled anyway. It won't matter.
Well, it's nice to do something constructive for a change.
We may not have much time. Let's find the Magister quickly.
If you're over leveled, this section is going to be very easy. The perks of having ground or grinded your way through.
Take a look around. See if there's anything we can use.
Yes, have a look around. For example, a prayer to the new god. Praise his name who has risen from the darkness. Praise his name who has striven for the light. Praise his name who has walked the golden city. Praise his name. The old gods are no more. The maker never was. The new god is among us. Praise his name. Yeah, you heard that right. Keep praising. Oh, by the way, one of the reasons why you absolutely want to bring along a rogue is because there's still going to be locked doors. Varric is going to stick with us no matter what. And I suppose Solus over there as well. Mainly because of his ties to the overall story. Let's grab everything here. A guard's journal. Alexius keeps asking for patrols of the walls. Waste of time if you ask me. The Inquisition ground themselves to a pulp against the wall ages ago. Ferelden made 3 attempts to lay siege here before the last life got crushed out of them. Who's left out there to threaten us? The mountain barbarians? But Alexius seems to expect a siege. Man's gone completely mad. Better to put the men on watch inside the walls. More of those blasted rifts open every day. It was better when we still had the people for blood sacrifices. Unbound demons have emptied the castle, village, and surrounding countryside of everyone who's not sleeping in their armor. Now it's just wild demons everywhere. Why would there be wild demons everywhere? Sounds like life after the fact has not been good to anybody. Make sure you heal up. Grab the supply cache if you need it. Then we're going to continue up the stairs and over here. What's behind locked door number 1? Nothing really. Bodies, of course. And more loot. Is there anybody here? I see torture devices, but no one here to speak to. This guy's gone. Something's in his head.
There is no maker. The Elder One has taken all that is his and will soon rule from his city.
That still doesn't make him a god.
Oh! There is no god but the Elder One. The Maker is dead. Say it.
Never. I'll die a good Andrastian before living a second as one of you.
Oh, what the hell? Well, we're too late to save whoever was here.
I'm surprised they left her alive this long. Poor woman.
I don't think it's possible to save her. Not as far as I can remember. Oh well. How sad for her. Let's continue our push-up.
Tell me how Lavella knew of the sacrifice at the temple.
Never.
There's no use to this defiance, little bird. There's no one left for you to protect.
You're wasting your breath.
You will break.
I will die first. Or you will. You're alive.
Leliana has seen better days.
You're safe now.
Forget safe. If you came back from the dead, you need to do better than safe. You need to end this. Do you have weapons? Good. The Magister's probably in his chambers.
You aren't curious how we got here?
No.
Alexius sent us into the future. This, his victory, his Elder One, it was never meant to be.
I'm so sorry for everything you suffered.
We have to reverse his spell. If we can get back to our present time, we can prevent this future from ever happening.
And mages always wonder why people fear them. No one should have this power.
It's dangerous and unpredictable. Before the breach, nothing we did.
Enough. This is all pretend to you. Some future you hope will never exist. I suffered. The whole world suffered. It was real.
At this point, Leliana will follow us.
Stop talking.
I'm just asking for information.
No, you're talking to fill silence. Nothing happened that you want to hear.
Well, damn. I certainly wanted to hear. Like, what's going on with her face? Probably shouldn't ask. Let's keep going.
We need to find Alexius. I'm sure he'll be in the nicer part of the castle, if there is one.
Alright, don't step into the circle over there. Round 2. Yeah, trust the AI to know what to do. And that's another rift closed. Alright, the way forward is up through these stairs. Make sure you've gathered up everything. We aren't returning to this place.
The Magister needs more power for his rituals.
No! Don't hurt me, Linnea.
I don't know if we can save him. Either way. Let's move forward.
This is madness. Alexius can't have wanted this.
Oh, I guess he's already dead. There's a supply cache over here if you need more potions or healings. It depends on what kind of hub world they're going to implement. I don't think there's ever been like one specific open world Dragon Age game aside from this one. In Dragon Age Origins, you always had a hub to go back to and, you know, rest up. And, I mean, that's true of this game as well. You have, like, one home base as well, and then you have multiple areas that you can go and explore. And, to a lesser extent, Dragon Age 2 had that as well. So I don't think it's, like, going to be a major change. I'm not even a big fan of the open world in this game. I think it's just filled with way too much downtime. Downtime that could better be filled in. Alright, let's down enough potions for everyone. If it's like Dragon Age 1 or Dragon Age Origins, I think we'll be fine. Even Dragon Age 2 was good. I just hope they don't bring like the same sort of like open world structure that this game has. Because as you've seen, it's taken us like 20 hours just to get through like 3 regions. We were supposed to be down over here a long time ago, doing this mission. Oh, hey, look at the world.
Everywhere. The veil is shattered. There is no boundary now between the world and the Fade.
How cool. And yes, there are more enemies to tackle. As you can see, just having enough barrier mages makes this very easy to complete. No need for a tank. Freeze, buddy. It depends. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes, like when there's a lot of meaningful activities, yes, it's good. Fetch quests and padding, though, I don't count. You never want fetch quests in your games. Especially the whole find 3 things and then consider that quest complete. Those sorts of quests, unless they provide like some excellent writing, without any writing to back it up, it's just needless filler. Stay inside there, please. Yeah, exactly. If the content is fun, and it doesn't feel like you're wasting any time, then yeah, it can be pretty good to have longer games. But again, it also depends on what they do with it. Because if I ask you to go around and collect these materials for like an hour without telling you why, that's not a good quest. But if I have you go around collecting like 3 things and also have you, you know, learn more about someone's backstory, I consider that very good. This game can be that way as well. I'm not gonna skirt around that issue. There are a bunch of filler quests as well. Some of it can be rather boring, but since there's so much to discover, it doesn't feel like you're wasting nearly as much time. There's always something to read, or there's always something to learn more about your companions or the world itself. There's a lot of world building in between the collection stuff. But again, that's all optional. If you just want to shoot your way through to the end, it's possible to do that as well. For example, like these notes. They throw so many codex pages around the world. This is Alexia's journal. Yeah, journal. It's a final entry. Nothing works. I have tried countless times to go back before the Conclave explosion, before Felix's caravan was attacked by Darkspawn, and before the Venatori first arrived in Minrathous, without success. The breach is the wellspring that makes this magic possible, and travel outside of its timeline is impossible. The Elder One's demand that I change the events of the Conclave can never be fulfilled. He may kill me for failing him, but I must protect Felix from his wrath. Oh, right, the pawns. Yeah, the pawns in Dragon's Dogma, they're like filler characters. In much the same way that the mercs were in Diablo 2. No! Oh no. Connor.
Why did he do that? We could have helped him.
We will help him by making sure this never happens.
What a terrible waste.
Well, in case you didn't see it, Connor, that one kid from way back on the docks that we met in Redcliffe, just killed himself. The Spellbinder's Journal. With every failed time spell, the Magister grows a bit more paranoid. Or perhaps it's not paranoia, since the Older One really will kill him for his failures. The distinction hardly matters. After the 10th failure, he began locking himself in the Great Hall during his waking hours. After the 20th, he had the foot soldiers excavate a shard doorway from parts unknown and painstakingly install it in the castle. Now his most trusted assistants can only see him if we all go at once, together. Which we must do twice a day to bring him his meals, as he never leaves that room at all. The best way to play this game is definitely to use everyone. Granted, you won't see all the dialogue with any one character. But that's entirely up to you. As for me...
Do you know?
Yes, I know.
And you're not going to tell me?
You'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, as for me, I prefer Varric and Solus in general. I mean, the other characters are pretty cool too, like Blackwall and Cassandra. You know, the funny thing though is Cassandra is the one character that you can't really romance as a woman. I mean, there is an option, but she's not really going to be all that into it. So yeah, you might think she's not straight, but she actually is. And then Dorian over here looks like a straight guy, but he's not straight at all. Alright, we're getting closer to the end. Gotta grab up everything here. And I think that's nearly it. There are tons of enemies here that we have to deal with. Oh no, you don't. We still have to deal with these enemies over here. Alright, round 2. Oh hey, if you have the time, go for it. Is that it? Or is there one more enemy around here? That should be it, right? I am using a mage. I went with an elven mage.
What in Andraste's name is that? Hold on to it. I want to look at it later.
You can move on if you want to, otherwise we have some lyrium shards to collect. There are going to be 5 of them. Don't rush off to the throne room just yet. Oh, never mind. You need to find them anyway if you're going to get through the store. Let's have a look around. Don't take that supply cache unless you need it. Since you can't fast travel here, there's no way of healing. No way to heal, I mean.
Try to take out that enchanter quickly. Block them from coming up the stairs!
Stay alive, everyone. That enchanter is probably the hardest enemy here to defeat.
Really go for some light reading.
Now, where the heck is the rest of the lyrium? Maybe over here? Nope, still nothing over here. We still need 3 more pieces. In this section, you're pretty much forced to explore until you get all the lyrium pieces.
What happened here?
Somebody had very questionable taste. They haven't noticed us yet. Good opportunity to look behind them. Get that enchanter!
Stay alive, everyone. Remember, debuffs are your friend. Whenever possible, use them. Oh no, where are you going?
Sorry for interrupting your dinner.
Alright, that's good. We're making some headway. And there's another lyrium shard. Again, here's another fetch quest. I mean, there's a reason for this fetch quest. We need these keys in order to open the door. But at the same time, it's another way of explaining... Oh, you need to explore this place. Man, there's all sorts of red lyrium. Ah, crap. We don't have a tank with us, meaning we can't just barge through the door. Instead, we have to take the long way around. Take that. Well, he couldn't really take much damage. There's another red lyrium shard. Crap. As I said before, make sure you have plenty of room. We're gonna have to throw away stuff soon. Oh crap. Burn. Burn all of you. Okay, time to figure out what we need to keep and don't want to keep. All these double-handed items can go in the trash. More specifically, we're just going to destroy them. There is no bank here. There is no bank. There is no store. Take what you can hold on to. Destroy the rest. Again, I don't like using dual-wielding rogues. Let's toss all that away. Dang. Well, there's nothing for us to grab up here. Oh, hey. There's another entry over here. Studies on the Blight. Introduction of Blight to prisoners yields no discernible pattern. Disease progresses erratically. Some subjects die within hours despite all efforts. Others show no symptoms at all. Subjects may harbor some natural resistance, which makes isolation and testing a priority. A later entry follows. 6 more subjects died. Transfusions of blood from resistant prisoners slow the rate of corruption only slightly. Healthy flesh taken from live subjects and implanted in the infected will often die, even before corruption spreads to it. In cases where implantation is successful, blight corruption spreads across donor flesh faster than most host flesh. Prisoner Leliana has been the most useful source of resistant blood and skin to date. So why would Leliana be the most resistant? Well, there's a not so subtle hint as to why. For some reason, the game always likes to... Well, I mean, the writers have always liked to treat Leliana as some sort of Jesus figure. Don't ask me why. I have never discovered why that was ever so important. Okay, Varric. This is no good. Heavy armor, I'm gonna just destroy these. That'll clear up some room. Varric, please open the door for us. Blah. Okay. There's some more potions here for us. Grab these if you need them. Oh wait, we've been here, haven't we? Yeah, we've been through this doorway already. I don't think we need to take that for the moment. And I've forgotten. Where is Dorian? Dorian. Let me have you learn this. The more spells that Dorian can continue to throw out, the better. And I think we're nearing the end. There's just a little bit more that we have to explore. Oh, I forgot this sack over here. Nothing to worry about. I think we have read that before, but we'll pick up the schematics. Come on, there's got to be one more key around here.
What damage did Alexis' spell do?
Rifts tore apart all of southern Thedas, starting here. But whether that's his doing or the breach, who can say?
There's another supply cache if you need it. Did we explore this side? No, not yet. Watch out for the shields. Where's the mage?
Doesn't look like the Elder One is interested in saving his followers. Let's head back to the main hall. I think I know how we'll open that door.
Alright. That is everything. You'll know if you have explored everywhere once you have all 5 red lyrium shards. But of course, if you're feeling unsure, you can still look around. Just make sure all the doorways are open. But yeah, that section over here just loops around in a circle. Let me make sure we have our potions before we leave. I don't want to do that. That looks good. Alright, let's finally be done with this area. In order to progress, grab all the red lyrium shards and then open up this door. Oh, and maybe make a save before you start up this boss fight.
I was worried I'd have to search the whole castle for you, Alexius.
There's no longer anywhere to run. I knew you would appear again. Not that it would be now, but I knew I hadn't destroyed you. My final failure.
Was it worth it? Everything you did to the world, to yourself.
It doesn't matter now. All we can do is wait for the end.
What do you mean? What's ending?
The irony that you should appear now, of all the possibilities. All that I fought for, all that I betrayed, and what have I wrought? Ruin and death, that is nothing else. The Elder One comes for me, for you, for us all. Felix.
That's Felix. Maker's breath, Alexius, what have you done?
He would have died, Dorian. I saved him. Please, don't hurt my son. I'll do anything you ask.
Hand over the amulet, and we let him go.
Let him go, and I swear you'll get what you want.
I want the world back.
No!
Boss fight time. Should be that hard though. If you're over leveled, you'll be fine. The real trouble, however, is trying to defeat him without dying on nightmare mode. There's not really much you can do here besides make sure you have a tank. If you have Blackwall on your team, this will be very easy. But yeah, you have a couple phases here. And he's going to open up another rift soon. Make sure you keep your barriers up. Keep your barriers up ASAP all the time. Where the hell are you? And make sure you don't group up all in one place. If you do, you make yourself a bigger target.
He wanted to die, didn't he? All those lies he told himself, the justifications. He lost Felix long ago. Didn't even notice. Oh, Alexius.
I know you cared for him.
Once he was a man to whom I compared all others. Sad, isn't it? This is the same amulet he used before. I think it's the same one we made in Minrathous. That's a relief. Give me an hour to work out the spell he used, and I should be able to reopen the rift.
An hour? That's impossible! You must go now! The Elder One.
You cannot stay here. hold the outer door. When they get past us, it'll be your turn.
I can't let you kill yourself for me. There must be another way.
Look at us. We're already dead. The only way we live is if this day never comes. Cast your spell. You have as much time as I have arrows. Though darkness closes, I am shielded by flame. Andraste, guide me. Maker, take me to your side.
You move, and we all die! You'll have to do better than that.
Put aside all claim to Redcliffe, and we let you live.
You won. There is no point extending this charade. Felix.
It's going to be all right, Father.
You'll die.
Everyone dies.
Well, I'm glad that's over with. Or not.
Grand Enchanter, we'd like to discuss your abuse of our hospitality.
Your Majesties.
When we offered the Mage's Sanctuary, people from their homes.
King Alistair, Queen Honora, I assure you, we never intended...
In light of your actions, good intentions are no longer enough.
You and your followers have worn out your welcome. Leave Ferelden, or we'll be forced to make you leave.
But we have hundreds who need protection. Where will we go?
The Inquisition might be willing to take in the mages.
And what are the terms of this arrangement?
Hopefully better than what Alexius gave you. The Inquisition is better than that, yes?
They have lost all possible supporters. The Inquisition is their only remaining chance for freedom.
I've known a lot of mages. They can be loyal friends if you let them. Friends who make bad decisions, but still loyal.
It seems we have little choice but to accept whatever you offer.
We would be honored to have you fight as allies at the Inquisition's side.
A generous offer. But will the rest of the Inquisition honor it?
The breach threatens all of Thedas. We cannot afford to be divided now. We can't fight it without you. Any chance of success requires your full support.
It's a generous offer. I doubt you're going to get a better one from us.
We accept. It would be madness not to. I will gather my people and ready them for the journey to Haven. The breach will be closed. You will not regret giving us this chance.
And that is that for that quest. I probably should have mentioned that last decision that we made can piss off a number of your allies.
It's not a matter for debate.
There will be abominations among the mages, and we must be prepared.
If we rescind the offer of an alliance, it makes the Inquisition appear incompetent at best, tyrannical at worst.
What were you thinking, turning mages loose with no oversight? The veil is torn open.
How do we want to treat the mages?
We need them to close the breach. It's not going to work if we make enemies of them.
I know we need them for the breach, but they could do as much damage as the demons themselves.
Enough arguing. None of us were there. We cannot afford to second-guess our people. The sole point of the Herald's mission was to gain the mage's aid, and that was accomplished.
The voice of pragmatism speaks. And here I was, just starting to enjoy the circular arguments.
Closing the breach is all that matters.
The longer the breach is open, the more damage it does. We should head there as soon as possible.
Agreed.
We should look into the things you saw in this dark future. The assassination of Empress Celine. A demon army.
Sounds like something a Tevinter cult might do. Orlais falls, the Imperium rises. Chaos for everyone.
One battle at a time. It's going to take time to organize our troops and the mage recruits. Let's take this to the war room. Join us. None of this means anything without your mark, after all.
Thank you. I'd be honored to help with the plan.
Meet us there when you're ready.
I'll skip the War Council, but I would like to see this breach up close, if you don't mind.
Then you're staying?
Oh, didn't I mention? The South is so charming and rustic. I adore it to little pieces.
And here's the point where you can refuse Dorian. Nah, who am I kidding? We want Dorian to stay.
There's no one I'd rather be stranded in time with, future or present.
Excellent choice. But let's not get stranded again anytime soon, yes?
I'll begin preparations to march on the summit. Make her willing, the mages will be enough to grant us victory.
Now, if you want, you can continue on to the next story beat. Otherwise, I'm going to take some time to explore, talk to everyone, sell off our equipment, and then maybe at the very end we'll consider doing the next major story beat. I kind of don't want to do it right away because, again, it's going to take some time to determine whether we have done all the missables yet or not.
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Halam Sharal? Cows milking farmers?
Oh yeah, since we have a new teammate, let's take our time in getting to know him.
I take it you don't agree?
On the contrary, I approve. Heartily. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given Southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
And yes, you can try to romance him. But I think Dorian is not romanceable if you're female. Don't ask why. Now, hang on here. I need to figure out how we can get the most approval out of him. So if I look up a quick guide... Do. Where the heck is it? Hang on here. I'm trying to find his dialogue stuff. That way we can try and get his approval rating as high as possible. I've mentioned before in the past that if you have very low approval ratings with your characters, some of them will eventually turn on you. Meaning they will despise you and they'll leave the party. Let's see.
What would be wrong with that, exactly?
Nothing, at first. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed, by inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
I've heard that Dorian was supposed to maybe make a reappearance in the sequel.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
You certainly think highly of yourself.
It's true. I could be more modest, but I'd be lying. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Yeah, if you don't take the time, your teammates can end up hating you and they will leave you eventually. It makes for some very tedious moments where you have to carefully weigh your dialogue options. Although if you screw up with the dialogue, you can always make it up for their favors. Through their favors, I mean. Like, for example, with Blackwall, you have to go around and collect all these artifacts from the Grey Wardens.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
Even characters from a far-off, unknown place can have some very complicated histories.
It just seems so much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply. About everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some Magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
And I never tire of hearing more about Dorian here. He's a very interesting character, even if we never use him that often.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minlathus. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Yes, do tell. Here's our chance to learn about Tevinter.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That Magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All majors now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, with all these titles, if you're not following along, I don't blame you.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing?
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
Yeah. I hope we get to learn even more about the Imperium in the 4th game. Because right now it seems like a far-off, nebulous thing. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A lot of fancy terms thrown out here and there.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
So, in a weird sense, the Chantry is split into two. The church or whatever, however way you want to call it. There's the Black Chantry, or the Black Divine, and the White Divine, or White Chantry. It's similar to, say, maybe West Rome and East Rome, or what we used to call the Byzantine Empire. Yes, there is a Black Pope.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Starting to see all the Christianity parallels.
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
Yes, the Pope in this game is supposed to be female, not male.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium?
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium?
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce the Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
the big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
You can apply that to religion in general.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
How do we respond to that?
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
There's something incredibly ironic in having this guy be the most religious character besides Cassandra. He's not very outwardly religious, but inside he is.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all?
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
So what exactly is blood magic over there?
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
I remember when blood magic was still a gameplay mechanic. I don't think you can use it anymore, but it used to be a huge deal breaker for a lot of party members if you decided to take that skill tree. And yes, there was a whole skill tree with blood magic.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally. Well, honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
If you didn't think we would have a discussion about slavery in a Dragon Age game, well, think again.
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
Not yet, no. I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
Okay.
So I take it you're Dalish? Is that the correct word here?
No, wait, I thought this was going to be over. Well, I guess fun with Dorian has not ended yet.
Yes, that's right.
We don't have Dalish clans coming northward, for obvious reasons. So I've never met one of your people before, although I've heard about them. A little. I hope this won't be an issue between us. I am here to help you deal with the Venatori, after all.
And I appreciate your help, Dorian.
Excellent. Mutual appreciation is a grand way to begin.
I should go.
Naturally.
Okay, now I think that's over.
What's on your mind?
Alright.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
Oh, you don't exactly have to absorb all the info at once. We just decided to just rush through everything. Anyway, after every major story beat, there's always going to be new dialogue to listen through. Make sure to listen to all of it, otherwise it will become missable in the future.
So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel? Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
Dorian was sure, impossible as it seems.
What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witness.
Oh, and by the way, we're romancing this dude.
Most people have trouble wrapping their heads around the idea.
I'm not most people.
I appreciate you talking with me about it. And not being most people.
If you wish me to speak of Elysian fashion, I may be at a loss. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Redcliffe. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront. How can I help?
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
And that is Solus for you. Interesting. Very interesting.
Sacred Ask told me that he can't let the herbs go for anything less than 8.
By the way, we should probably upgrade some stuff. Like the healing potion. We finally have enough for this. This is why we collect every single herb on the ground. These other items are still needed. We still have to explore some new areas in order to upgrade those. for now. Just take whatever upgrade you can possibly get your hands on. I think it was part of a trophy back in the past that you had to do all these upgrades. Oh well, don't worry too much about it if you can't get everything done all at once. There'll be more opportunities in the future. Plus, I don't even use these all the time. The game is simple enough as it is. But maybe if you're playing on Nightmare mode, these grenades and these potions might have more use. It's not guaranteed though.
Fine. We'll gather our own. Tell Sigrid, he better hope he doesn't need a salve anytime soon.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have skipped out on them.
You're back. And in one piece.
For a healer, you don't seem particularly nurturing.
I'm not a healer. I'm an alchemist who's forced to play Mother Hen. You want something to burst into flame on contact with the air? Done. Gladly. Patching up wounded soldiers is a waste of my time and talents. But there are few around who can help.
How are your people holding up?
No one's declared me a heretic recently, so I won't complain.
Farewell.
Good for you, buddy. Anyway, moving on. Where the heck is Sarah?
I think that elf Sarah thinks all this. Elves know things about
Well, that's mages all over. So many rogues, I bet all of Ferelden lost their curtains. Just be the other side of him.
I've got eyes, don't I?
Just in case.
Do you have a problem with our new allies? With mages?
No problem with mages. You're fine, right? My problem is magic. If mages sat on their hands, everything would be fine. I mean, yay, freedom. Great for them. Over there, away from me.
I love at any time, if you don't want Sarah to be around any longer, you can just kick her out. She's like the only character that has this option.
What do you think about the people who have gathered?
Again, with your people. Right, which ones?
I don't know. How do you like Dorian now?
What about Dorian?
He's fun. Could lose a bit more to Vinter.
We'll talk later.
Good, right? I'll be here.
Most of the dialogue there is just repeated stuff. Let's keep making our way through everyone.
The Mage Rebellion joins the Inquisition. I've got to admit that's a twist I didn't see coming. One thing you saw in the future worries me. I mean, it was all bad. But red lyrium and Ferelden, infecting people and growing out of them, that's bad. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
The Inquisition has the numbers to track down all this lyrium and destroy it.
I hope so. I don't want to think about what happens if it starts a plague. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
I don't know. Maybe have a party?
That's a good point. We should celebrate. A banquet? Something like a banquet?
Word to Josephine, and I bet she could arrange anything. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know. Need something?
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject. Need something?
I think we have probably asked everything before.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem.
Never mind.
Need something?
There's nothing new more from
The champion, and I have a few questions.
from Varric.
Common reaction? Go ahead.
Never mind. Let's move on.
Another time, Varric.
We're just gonna leave him hanging.
The mages are ready to approach the breach. I pray this will be enough to close it.
If you're a mage, you get an extra special dialogue option.
You weren't happy with how I brought in the mages. Do you have a problem with me as well?
Of course not. I have no intention of endangering your alliance, but I must ensure the safety of those here. That concern extends to the mages. They are putting themselves at risk for the Inquisition, as are you. Any precautions taken are meant to aid you, nothing more. I hope you will accept them as such.
Is there anything I should know?
I'm glad to have the charges on our side. Bull's men are professionals, despite evidence to the contrary.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
Nah, I think we're good here.
Another time, then.
Word is that the mages will be joining us here in Haven. I hope you've chosen your allies wisely, Harold.
Didn't we already talk to her before? I can't quite remember.
How did you come to be a Templar?
It seemed the right thing to do. My family are tradesfolk in Denerim. I could have become a cobbler like my father, but this seemed better. It's a chance to uphold the Chantry's laws and help the mages through a troubled time.
I'm surprised to hear that.
Not all Templars want to make mages into prisoners or villains. Some of us just want to keep a balance and let you practice your craft in safety. One person trying to do something can make a difference. You should keep that in mind, Harold.
Oh, by the way, if you didn't tag team with the Templars, they won't be here in camp. And vice versa if you decide to team up with the mages.
I like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once we both protected all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that distance did save my life.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Now, where is Cassandra?
And what are we supposed to do, exactly?
What you always do. Complain.
We've already spoken with Commander Cullen. No one listens. We want better quarters. We want the Templars kept at a distance. And some respect for...
This is not the Circle. You mages are our allies, not our wards. Act like it.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
Is there an issue with the mages? Can I help?
The mages are here as equals. They need to get used to what that means. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
Well, I hope it works. What other choice do we have?
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
We wouldn't be here at all if you hadn't stood up to the Chantry.
You're being kind.
You're discounting your role in this.
Let's close the breach. Then we can say how successful I was.
I guess if you really have your heart set on romancing Cassandra, you can do that here too.
So, that Tevinter guy sent you into the future?
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. The Kinari are mainly a secular society. So if you take Iron Bull with you into the future, he is basically in disbelief.
We've got no problem with normal magic. Tevinter goes beyond all reason.
I know, right? The Vints are always pushing. Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it.
You know, as much as he says he dislikes the Tevinters, in the final DLC expansion, he ends up with a Tevinter person.
Can I help you?
See you later, Bull.
See ya.
Though it also kind of depends on what you do with them. But that's spoiler alert territory.
Nice work at Redcliffe. I could help the mages learn to work with Inquisition soldiers if you like. Not that the chief has any apostates in the group.
Can you think of any other tasks suitable for the Chargers?
The Templars have holed up in Thurenfall Redoubt. No idea what's happening inside. I could have some of the boys poke around. If nothing else, we get a better look at the land.
Also, make sure you catch that line of dialogue. If you team up with the mages, you'll get that dialogue option, and so you can send the Chargers to investigate what happened back there.
Can we talk about the Bull's Chargers?
Certainly. What can I tell you?
We'll talk later.
And there you go. Now you can investigate Thurenfall Redoubt. You know, that one place we were supposed to go in the other path? Well, I wish we had the time to pursue the other romance options.
I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
If the history you pursue benefits the Wardens, then it was worth it.
You've proven yourself to be an honorable woman. Principled. I've great admiration for you. And I've never been more certain in my decision to join you.
I love how straightforward Blackwall is. If anything, it makes trying to get his approval that much easier. Whereas if you consider someone like Vivian, it's a complete nightmare.
There will be opportunities for us to do even more in the future.
Then I look forward to it.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
You already know what I think of your forces. Not sure what else there is to say.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
Dorian? He's arrogant. He preens himself. But you already know that. Doesn't even hide it.
Well, thanks for telling us.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
I fear for Cassandra sometimes. The way she throws herself into battle. I've never known a warrior like her.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Alright, never mind Blackwall there. We still gotta find Vivian over there, and maybe Josephine. And perhaps we can tackle another war table mission, and we'll call it a night. But not before I throw away some stuff. Oh wait, we gotta go inside for that. Cassandra, however, plays by her own rules. That's why I wish we had the time to investigate, because I think part of the trophy requirements for the platinum is that you need to romance every single person and see their special cutscene. I think I did that way back when, a long time ago.
If Fiona and her malcontents are joining us as allies, we need to be prepared. Abominations are inevitable. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
Yeah, Vivian, in order to get her happy, we have to agree with her.
The last thing we need are abominations running amok.
I knew you would have a proper grasp of the situation. I'll have a word with Cullen. We are reliant on his people, absolutely. There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
What would Vivian agree with?
I'm glad that one of us has confidence in the Templars.
It is not a matter of confidence. Reality does not change based on feelings. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
She's always so pissy at all of our decisions and people.
You're preaching to the choir, Vivian.
Tell me something. You told me that you'd see the Chantry restored. What about the Circle?
Yeah, I don't like these decisions any more than the next person. But we gotta play to her ego.
The Circle has to be restored if we want to keep the peace.
That's comforting to hear, but you'll find opposition to the idea even among friends. It's something to consider, my dear.
One of the main reasons why I don't like keeping Vivian. You have to go against every fiber in your being to disagree with her.
Do you need something, my dear?
Or agree with her.
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
I don't know what to make of Solus. So much knowledge and so little personal history. I find that peculiar, don't you?
She is very grating. It's a wonder how she's our ally at all. She's always scheming behind our backs. She's like that one friend that you don't really care for.
And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your Illyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement.
The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
What's going on with them?
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corbin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power, instead of comforting the masses.
Mage circles started falling years ago. The Chantry was troubled even before the Divine's murder.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevarra, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andraste's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
I suppose a shared faith can be useful when talking with strangers.
Precisely. And these similar interests are merely where we begin. We must learn to think beyond our own wants to secure peace in Thedas.
This might not be a good idea, but yeah, you can romance Josephine as well. Sure, we're already on the good side of our advisor, but to get an even better side of her, well, that's a lot to ask for during this playthrough.
Planning to steer the history of the world, Ambassador Montilier?
I believe the Inquisition is already charting that course. Which brings me to a question, if you have a moment. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
This option is unique. Let's ask for Josephine's opinion.
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra, Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
This one's a personal decision, but, you know, if we're going off of politics...
I'd tell the Chantry that Andraste herself shielded me from harm.
I'd truly like to hear the debates that would raise in Val Royeaux. Thank you for your thoughts. A good day to you.
Doesn't seem like that influences our approval ratings.
That will help.
Sweet. More damage against demons.
Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lady Drummond promised a visit. She has useful resources if we can get her to set aside her games.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little boards with carved idols from Tevinter. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards, if she insists on a match. Good day to you.
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
You must have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room. Still, I do believe he has your best interest at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
Yeah, he sure likes doing that.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye.
Okay, after all that...
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the rebel mages. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
We will try.
In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
You did well to gain the mages to your cause. The people have hope that the breach may be sealed. Some of them are returning to the lives they fled. Others are starting fresh. In either case, they no longer believe the world as they know it is ending.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Good for them. Almost done here. Oh wait, I forgot to talk to Leliana. And well, there's our prisoner here, of course. Now, where is he? I thought he was around in here somewhere. Perhaps not. I know for sure in our second base you can find your prisoners hanging out down in the dungeons, but here it's hard to tell where he is, if he's here at all. Never mind. I guess Alexius won't be found until Chapter 2. Nah, never mind. Let's go find Leliana and then clean up for the night. As much as I would like to continue the next story beat, it's getting late.
It seems Blackwall knows nothing about the disappearance of the Grey Wardens. It's a disappointment. I am, however, glad that he is with us, even if he was not what I expected. He seems to be a good man, and his experience will be an asset to the Inquisition. As for the other Wardens, I suppose we will have to keep looking.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
It was still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
Anything I should know?
Altegan has returned to Redcliffe Castle and resumed his duties as Lord. The people are returning, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our show of support for the mages has angered many.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
I'll leave you to your work.
And that should be everyone.
Apothecary Adon says you'll have the reagents you requested soon.
Can I help you with something?
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Okay. That covers all of our party members for the moment. Now, would you believe that we still haven't gotten everyone? I think there's still just one more party member we need to pick up. Anyway, let's clean up our inventory and get settled for the night. I guess we'll do another session tomorrow. I want to get as close as we can to the end of Chapter 1. Yeah, we're still not done with Chapter 1. Alright, these can go. That's trash. All these staves. Let's see, can Solus use any of them? No. That means everything has to be trashed. I'm not going to worry about the extra stuff. The grips and everything can be sold off and destroyed. We can make better ones later. This is also a unique staff. Not a very good one. Having cold damage be the main attribute is never good. Cold damage and fire damage can be negated. Electricity, however, cannot. The breeder, or no, not breeder, bleeder of souls. Misread that. I mean, it might be good for one of our other characters later. Now, as far as the bows are concerned, that's all trash. And of course, Blackwall. The shields are no good. No, never mind. I take that back. The Orlesian Lion Shield can be useful. Plus 10 guard max is very good. These other ones are kind of meh. I mean, it's up to you whether you want to go for this one or not. I think we'll have plenty of other shields available later. And now for heavy armor. Or perhaps Varric? No, Varric can't equip any of this. That's trash. I think that should be enough. I mean, that ought to give us enough room. Maybe just a little bit more. What have we not gotten rid of? Accessories, of course. I'm going to go ahead and throw away these. And the duplicates. If you're trying to run more than just your 2 or 3 characters, you're going to need a lot more equipment. Makes the game kind of hard to deal with since you need so much stuff on hand. But I think that's nearly over. I don't think we need to keep this. Here we go. Sigil of the Bronto. This is very good for your tank. Albeit you have to get rid of your barrier. That might be a deal breaker. For Blackwall, I don't think this sigil matters too much. He gets a skill that negates damage completely anyway. So keep it, don't keep it. Alright. That's gonna be all. Next time when we return, I wonder if we're strong enough to go fight the dragon yet. Probably not. We might just have to wait until we reach Haven, or not Haven, Skyhold for that. Otherwise, we would go back to the hinterlands right about now and deal with these one areas. This, for example, we could probably do these last few quests. And also go fight that dragon somewhere up here or over here, I think. We're probably still better off waiting until we finish the next story beat. And in Chapter 2, once we get our specialization, that'll be a better stepping off point to fighting that dragon. Alright. Let's make our save and call it a night. Oh wait, I forgot. Let me go ahead and set that war table mission. That way when we return next time, we don't have to wait for that to be completed.
I'll tell the apothecary what you need right away.
Man, never mind. There are a bunch more war table missions that we can do now. Well, shoot. This is what we need to complete next. In your heart shall burn. In the meantime, let me go ahead and discover what our rewards are for these war table missions. We have to investigate Therenfall Redoubt. The Templars at Therenfall Redoubt went quiet while the Inquisition dealt with Redcliffe. I'd be happy to take the Chargers out to investigate the area. Signed, Cremisius Aclassi. Krem. Arlo Kremlin. Who do we want to send along? Leliana or Cullen? So if we're to investigate Therenfall Redoubt, who gets the better reward? Hang on here. While I try to find the entry for this. You'll want to do as many of these war table missions as possible before starting In Your Heart Shall Burn. In Your Heart Shall Burn is the final mission of this chapter. Once you take on that and you complete that quest, it's going to lock you out of a number of things. Okay. The best reward here is to send Leliana. You'll get a bull. Don't send Cullen. He doesn't get anything.
Let's see what we have.
It's going to take 2 hours for this to be completed. No problem. An ally from Starkhaven. This is Seabass. The Inquisition has received a missive from Starkhaven. Most cordial greetings. My name is Sebastian Vale, sole heir of the Vale Princes of Starkhaven. He was kind of a bastard in Dragon Age 2. Not a very friendly guy to get along with. And I think he was also a DLC character as well. Anyway, I recently retook the throne of this great city from those who sought to gain it through unjust means. As the most devoted adherent of the Chantry, I felt the loss of Most Holy Justinian V keenly. I too hope for a resolution to the terrible conflict that claimed the lives of hundreds in Kirkwall, and now threatens to claim all of Thedas. I extend Starkhaven's hand in friendship to the Inquisition. Together, let us right the wrongs visited upon our world. Signed, Seabass. This guy next to what's-his-face, the other guy that was terrible in Dragon Age 2. None of them were really friends at all. I forgot what his name is. It's on the tip of my tongue. He's the guy that got possessed and blew up the you-know-what. Okay, I guess we can only send Josephine here. That's fine. Let's have Josephine send some emissaries. Though the Free Marches cities have always been independent, earning the support of the most prosperous ones may be to our advantage.
Let us begin.
Again, that's another 3-hour mission. There is a request from Hasmal. Commander Cullen, I understand the Inquisition is working with Redcliffe's mages. I'm surprised someone from Kirkwall would condone any arrangement with them, but it does put you in a position to help us. Hasmal's circle sustained significant damage during the uprisings. Rather than follow the Lord Seeker, many of our Templars elected to remain and deal with the aftermath, but our resources are limited. Furthermore, we have loyalist mages with us. Hasmal's people would happily throw them to the wolves, even though they had nothing to deal with the rebellion. As it stands, I fear we may fail in our duty to protect them. I trust you sympathize with our predicament. I humbly request our charges be transferred to the Inquisition. Signed, Knight Commander Bryson. Is there no other choice? Because this is going to make our decision even easier. No, never mind. I guess you can send the others. All rewards are the same, so let's have Cullen send his expertise. We have a few Templars of our own. Hasmal's Templars will be comfortable working with them. They can ensure safe passage for the mages. How nice of them.
All right.
I think that's everything on this side. Let me have a quick glance at these. Can't figure out how much time they'll take. But if I can, I'm going to finish these before we tackle In Your Heart Shall Burn. Just in case things go awry and we miss out on them. Alright, that is going to be it. I think we have spoken to everyone, taken care of everything. Let's make our save and call it a night. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like the video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Let me know what you guys think. And to Mr. Critical's comment, yes, there is a lot of writing in this game that takes its cues from real historical things, like the difference between the Chantry and the Church, and the Tevinter Imperium and the Roman Empire. There are all sorts of things to draw references from. Share this video out wherever you guys can, and also make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you have missed out on any of our previous play sessions so far with Dragon Age, hit up our playlist. Or if you want to see different games from us, hit up our channel. We have just finished up Season 4 for Diablo 4. If you want to have a look at that, feel free. Otherwise, we are probably going to wait until the 6th for Season 5 to begin. If you're over on Twitter, follow us at twitter.com/LunarlightGames. Over there you'll find deals, discounts, as well as news stories about the gaming world, as well as the odd giveaway we run from time to time. Check out the pinned post for more information, or hit up our hashtag LunarlightVault. If you would like to support our giveaways, or if you'd like to support our channel financially, you can do so by dropping a donation over at paypal.me/LunarlightGames. The link will be posted here on this video later. But if not, if you guys prefer supporting our channel in other ways, one of the main ways you can do that is just by watching our content. Also, follow us at twitch.tv/LunarlightGames and hit the notification bell across all of our platforms to get updates as soon as they're made available, or to catch whenever we go live. That will be all for tonight with Dragon Age Inquisition. I am going to try my best to be back again on Monday evening or afternoon for more Dragon Age. I'd like to get at least through to Skyhold before we switch off to another game. But you know me, sometimes I'll get distracted. We'll probably do another session of Stardew Valley and then completely forget about this. So, I try my best to keep my promises, but again, I can't keep any of them. Anyway, enough about that. It's time for bed, and it's probably bed for someone else, probably you, whenever you're watching this. We'll see you guys again next time. For now, take care, and we'll see you guys again soon.